Number 3 is a conflict of interest statement. According with state law, it is the duty of every board member to avoid conflicts of interest. Does any board member have any known conflict of interest with respect to any matter on the agenda? If so, please identify the conflict and refrain from participation in the matter involved.
Mr. Chairman, I do. I have a conflict with item 7A, discussion of possible recommendations for the application of ODA. I am a adjoining property owner, so I'm going to recuse myself from the discussion and the vote when we get to that.
Karen, can I take a moment to talk about that with your experience when it got brought to life, and being a former mayor? I would value your opinion. I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but there's no monetary gain to you.
No.
So I don't see that being a conflict of interest other than side by side.
I will be involved in the discussion.
Okay.
If people have questions that I might be able to answer, but I'm not going to vote.
That's fair. Is everybody okay with that?
If that's okay with the board.
Yeah, I mean, if someone has a question, I mean, you're not really involved in the discussion, but if someone has a question that can't be answered by Greg or something like that. So.
I can answer if it involves
All right. Is anybody
interaction
else,
with the.
anybody else have a conflict? Chris? Amanda?
Nope.
Bill? Rusty?
No.
I do not.
The conflict of interest statement. In accordance with state law, it is the duty of every council member to avoid conflicts of interest. Does any council member have any known conflict of interest with respect to any matter on the agenda? If so, please identify the conflict and refrain from any participation in the matter involved.
I do.
You do have conflict?
Item 12A.
12A, okay. All right. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Now we're up to the next items, discussion of the downtown overlay. And Jeff, I'm going to let you take off with this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Ellen?
Good evening, council members. Thank you for your service. This is also in regards to the overlay and text amendment changes. So I Love Lucy, The Brady Bunch, MASH, Friends, The Office. What do these things have in common with the POLIVKA meeting of January 13th? They're reruns. And just like those classic shows, today's meeting feels like deja vu. It's a repeat airing of the same proposal that we've already seen. Just like syndicated episodes that are aimed to squeeze more revenue from an original broadcast, this proposal for POLIVKA is an attempt to add more buildings in the hopes of increasing the property's future value. It's a rehash and a reintroduction of arguments that we heard 6 months ago. dressed up in slightly different language, but pushing the same end goal. Let's not lose sight of what's really happening here. This isn't just about a few new buildings. It's the beginning of a slippery slope towards expanding the commercial footprint, pushing the overlay further, creeping development outward, and laying the groundwork for sewer access and higher density in the future. And yet, here we go again. We've seen this playbook before. We say yes once, and it opens the door to more. And that is the real plan. This proposal was rightly rejected in January. They are welcome to reapply after a year, but instead are seeking a shortcut, using a text amendment to slip the same proposal through the back door. It's a loophole, a workaround, a rerun, hoping this time the outcome will change. I urge you, vote no again. Don't allow this rerun to become the series finale for our community's integrity. Let's keep this change where it belongs, in the archives. Thank you in advance for protecting our town and rejecting this change.
Cool. Thank you, Ellen. Clayton Jones.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Clayton Jones, and I live on Panhandle Circle. Lived there with my family for 27 years come this August. POLIVKA, I call it Dracula. It has been killed and buried 3 times. It has risen from the dead once again and is sucking the blood of our citizens. The citizens of Weddington have spoken loudly. They want to keep the existing commercial overlay. It's time to drive a stake through the heart of POLIVKA. Bury it. Let it rest in peace. Don't waste your time and the staff's time and these citizens' time to keep coming back again and again on a non-issue. There are more important things that you should be doing. Get to it.
Thank you. Annette Baker. Jared.
This is my first time speaking here, so I'm going to set a little timer just so I don't lose track of time.
4 minutes.
4 minutes, right? My name is Jared POLIVKA. I'm a proud North Carolinian. I went to school in New Bern High School, elementary school, middle school, and high school in New Bern. And I attended the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Now, my uncle Basil, he bought that property in 2007. And in 2009, 2010, and 2011, while I was a student at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, I would do a couple trips per year to accompany my dad, talking to our town council, talking to residents of Weddington. And at that time, there was a overgrown lot. And it was an empty building. It was an ugly building, and it was overgrown. My uncle wanted to put a beautiful building there that was on brand with the town of Weddington. Now, I come in peace, okay? I promise you I'm not a vampire, so please do not stake me. I think that was it Clayton? That was you. So I am not a daywalker, so please do not put a stake in my heart, sir. But I just wanted to say that we always believe in doing things with our neighbors, like the POLIVKA family, and we like to go by the book. And in 2012, when the zoning was approved and our plan was approved to build the building that is there now, we built exactly what we promised. Exactly what we promised. So we have a track record of doing exactly what we say. And we're not liars. So, all right. So if anybody wants to reach out, I really encourage you guys to, I've emailed everybody on the council. I'd love to meet with you all individually. And I'd also like to give my phone number and email out to everybody in the audience. You can put it in the public minutes. My phone number is 330-883-3032. Again, it's 330-883-3032. You can text me. You can schedule a half-hour meeting with me anytime. And if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out about what we're doing. And we are going to reapply in January. Oh, I should go back and also address, we have 1 minute and 55 seconds left, but I just want to address a couple of things that kind of came up. So let's see. Every survey that has been done, from what I know, most surveys that have been done in this town have been less than 3% which is not statistically significant. And I don't know, but it seems like the people that are very active in these surveys, I don't know if they speak for the other 97% of the population. So if you think that they speak for everyone, then okay. The other thing I'd like to address is a shortcut seeking. This is a rerun. This is not a rerun. We were zoned mixed use in 2012, and there was not a downtown overlay at that time. Now, earlier, I'm listening, it sounds like an overlay was not wanted. I was not aware of that, but it sounds like an overlay was not ever even wanted. So if no overlay existed, we wouldn't even be having this discussion right now, right? Like logically. I mean, does that make sense? Or, yeah, so if the overlay was never wanted to begin with, we have 44 seconds left. I just wanted to address these things, but you know what? Text me, 330-883-3032, or email me, jaredpolivka@gmail.com, and I'd love to speak with everybody on council and the planning board and address any of these issues. I think that's all I have to say. We believe in responsible development. We believe in working with our neighbors. We believe in being transparent. And I'm happy to get coffee at the bagel spot. I'm also happy to welcome you to our office. And I did want to address one other thing, which is I have 11 seconds left, which is our company is growing, so we actually need office space for our employees. So that's also part of why we want it. So that's my time. So thank you.
Thank you for coming. Okay. All right. No more public comments. We'll move forward to public safety report. Is Deputy Wren nearby?
First, let me say that I am proud to be bringing this subject up because it's the right thing to do. And in my book, there's not a time limit on trying to get the right thing done. I want to basically, this evening, I provided some copies of a couple of maps to my fellow council members. I left some out here for the public. Next Tuesday at 5 o'clock in this room, I will be here to discuss this subject with anybody that would like to come out and discuss it with me. And I look forward to that opportunity because, again, I believe this is the right thing to do. So I am simply going to read this letter for the record and then hope to see folks here next Tuesday. And then I will formally bring up my request at our August meeting. So let me begin. As many of you already know, I will soon be asking the town council to begin the process of amending the current downtown overlay to include the POLIVKA property. When I bring this up initially, it will be to get approval to start the process, which will then run through the planning board and then town council for a final vote. In both instances, there will be public hearings to allow interested residents to express their views. Let me take a little time here to present the information regarding my proposal. I'm including some town maps, which I hope will prove useful to you. And if you're watching this online, or even if you're here tonight, these will be, as part of the record for the meeting, they'll be available on the town webpage for you to go and take a look at. First, the intent of the downtown overlay was to restrict brick and mortar commercial operations to our town center. Now, we do not have a town center as such. Most folks, I would say, believe that the intersection here of 84 and 16 would be the historic center of town, since the original Weddington United Methodist Church building is still located there. But after Weddington Corner Shopping Center was built, with the gymnastics center adjacent, the overlay area was drawn around these properties and also includes 2 additional properties which are currently zoned residential. About 12 years ago, Mr. POLIVKA approached the town about getting an existing residential lot located across the street from the shopping center rezoned for commercial use. In the end, it was rezoned, but they did not approve all the buildings he originally wanted, but allowed him to build the existing office building. There were no restrictions placed to prevent him from requesting more buildings in the future. Now, I believe it was an oversight for the council that approved this zoning change to not also amend the overlay map. They should have, especially since the overlay contains 2 parcels zoned as residential. Making this change is the logical thing to do at this point. Mr. POLIVKA wanted to build 2 more smaller office buildings on the remainder of his property. But in January of this year, by a 2-to-1 vote, the council voted down this proposal based primarily on the overlay map. I would point out several facts that I believe strongly support my position. First, please refer to the attached maps for details. And again, if hopefully you got something you can pass around out there. First, the POLIVKA property is in our town center. The only thing separating it from the overlay is 4 lanes of asphalt. Second, the property is already zoned commercial, just like the shopping center located across the street. No rezoning is being proposed. Third, the POLIVKA property is landlocked. There is no room for further expansion. The Hunter Farm, a conservancy property, is located on one side, and Weddington United Methodist Church on the other. I believe that my proposal is reasonable based on these simple facts. Just look at the maps. And I would also say, look to see what areas are zoned commercial in that big map of Weddington. Finishing up here, every taxpayer in Weddington deserves to be treated fairly. This applies whether you own a single family home in an established neighborhood or you own commercial property located across from our town center. It is only fair to allow Mr. POLIVKA to have the full and best use of the property he owns here in town. He should be able to make requests in the future that will be judged on their merits and not rejected because of being on the other side of a street. Any suggestions that my proposal is an attempt to expand commercial property across town is simply not true, period. As my proposal gets closer to being presented to council, I have scheduled a time at Town Hall when I will be available to discuss this idea in person with anyone who is interested. This will be on Tuesday, the 22nd of July at 5 p.m. I highly encourage anyone with concerns to drop by, especially all the folks that spoke tonight. I would really enjoy the chance for a one-on-one talk about this. I will be glad to speak to you, and I appreciate your time, and I look forward to discussing this matter further. Thanks.
Thank you, Jeff. Any comments, discussion on this at this point?
Well, this is going to be discussed next meeting, correct? So
Yeah.
really,
I will be
no
making my
reason for-
Right,
There's no reason for discussion tonight, correct?
correct.
Okay.
But it is open if we wanted to.
Yeah.
But no, something that's, and you know how I say commercial is to the residents of Weddington. So what I would like to have is in August, have open for
Yes,
comment for all
absolutely.
the residents to come out and comment about this. And I'd also like for the council to be unified in either direction. And I'd like to take a vote, whether we go forward,
Well,
with
that's
it
what
or
we're going
not.
to have to do, because
Right.
I explained at the retreat. The first step is I'm going to make a formal proposal with a presentation in
Right.
August to get a majority vote to direct staff to draft the language to change
Start the
this
process.
this outline. At that point, it goes to the planning board
Correct.
for their review, their scrutiny, their judgment. public hearing, public comments,
Mhm.
and then they will take a vote to either say, yeah, Jeff, we think that's a good idea, or no, Jeff, you're full of it.
Yeah.
And then it will come to us. And then we will have another public hearing, and then we can discuss it. And then we'll take a vote and see where it falls.
Right. No, because it's, I definitely want residents
Absolutely.
of input
Absolutely.
either way. And so, so we'll do that. We'll have
Yep.
input, public hearing, and we'll have a vote.
Yeah.
So, okay. Anything else to be said on this before we move forward? Okay. Yeah, so we'll look at it in August.